Good morning. This morning I was coming from Dubai and we have this light rain. And rain in UAE is something different than the rain in London, for example. I remember I used to tell some of my British friends that when I was in London during winter and sunshine will come, people will go out to the parks and they will leave their offices even. And whenever they see somebody in the street, they will go out to their British private nature and they will go like this, nice day, isn't it? Nice day, isn't it? I mean, they are so happy for the sunshine they have. In UAE, we are just the opposite. When it is raining, we go like this, nice day, isn't it? Nice day, isn't it? Because rain for us in a desert atmosphere is something so pleasing, so nice, so refreshing. And I remember this when I was coming from Dubai. I wrote my brief speech in Arabic. I don't like reading from a paper, and I will not to tax the translator, I will talk in my broken English, and please have mercy on me also. In the Arab mythology and folklore, we have a lady. Her name is Zarqa al-Yamama. And she is a lady who were, first of all, Zarqa al-Yamama mean the blue-eyed lady from Yamama. And she was known for her prediction of the future and of her foresight. And she used to see things for, as they said, 3 days, part of folklore. She was from the tribe of Jadis. And once there was another tribe who was invading. And those people knew about Zarqa al-Yamama. So they tried to play the tricks of camouflage. They cut some shrubs and they hid behind them and they were advancing. So from 3 days she can see them. So she told her tribe that, look, people are invading. They sent somebody. He said, no, but these are shrubs. Nobody is invading. She kept warning them that people are invading. They didn't listen to her. In a way, that tribe came, they vanquished, they were not ready, they vanquished them, they defeated them, they killed all the tribe people. And for Zarqa al-Yamama, first they blinded her, then they crucified her and killed her. Now I remembered that story of our Arabic lady when I look at my type of writing, which is fiction. And in the last 100 years or a little bit more, many writers of fiction, when they saw the effect of machines in the life of people, they began to write two types of novels. Those novels were utopias and dystopias. Now there is a new also type of dystopia related to climate change called ecotopia, and there are some novels in this also genre. And in these novels, those writers, they try to be like Zarqa al-Yamama. They try to warn humanity, warn the people and warn the leaders that there are many things in our life. If we don't try to control them, then this will lead to a bleak future. And that literature seeped or was reflected also in the popular culture. So many of those novels have been transferred to films, beginning from films about time machine, film The Space Odyssey by Arthur C. Clarke's film. Lots of, you've seen many of those films. Unfortunately, a lot of those leaders who have the decision making of our future in their hands, they look at those films not that they are really a reflection of the original novel, and the original novel is a warning. They looked at them as if they are looking at the Pirates of the Caribbean. They are nice films, you know, we enjoy them, and that's it. Not as a prediction of the future and warning for the future, no. I mean, I'll give you just an example that we all suffered from. The COVID virus pandemic. Now, this pandemic afflicted 700 million. I was also inflicted by that disease. Although my case was light. My sister was not. She had to be hospitalized in ICU. 7 million people died of that pandemic. And there were a lot of novels also in the genre of dystopia. Is finished. Did we learn the lessons? I doubt it. I was looking about some figures in, for example, the health services for different advanced countries, and about budgets for the research in viruses and pandemics and things. And there was small, nothing that you can think of, nothing that make you comfortable, because as you know, WHO and all the scientific society is telling us that COVID is just the beginning, that since we are now over 108 billion people on Earth, and we are in contact with animals, there are a lot of viruses will come to us from the animals, whether we like it or not. So people, the lessons that they learned from this pandemic that killed 7 million people, afflicted 700 million, is that yes, now we have Zoom. We don't have to go to work, and companies also can, get rid of many of those employees that are not needed, and now we will go to Zoom and things. And certain companies, the talabat and this, these are the lessons that they benefited from this horrible catastrophe that afflicted us lately. Not the main thing that we should invest on public health, invest in the studies of viruses, and invest on the study of vaccines. No. We are thinking of maximization of profits, of things that are related to the consumer society, not to the health of the consumer society. Dr. Stephen Hawking, one of my gurus whom I admired tremendously because he overcame his medical case and he became one of the greatest minds in the 20th century, and he sat on the chair of Isaac Newton, also a great human being. Before he died, he wrote an article in The Independent with about 3 or 4 researchers, and he warned about the dangers of artificial intelligence. That this artificial intelligence, if it's not controlled, if the human parameters was not taken into account when people develop it, will lead to all kinds of catastrophes, political, economical, military, you name it. Did any of the people who have power listen to this wise man and his colleagues? No. When you look now at the studies of AI, you find that there are 2 types of people who sponsor them. Governments, and those governments, they insist on using AI in military technology because they fear that the other power will develop AI in the military better than them, so they have to invest more. And both of them are working in this. And the second group that invest in AI are companies. And those companies, they are interested in maximization of profit. So they wanted to develop it to benefit from it economically, not to benefit humanity. And I will not say how many novels are written in warning about a world that are either controlled by machine or controlled by evil people using machines to control the rest of us. I was in India lately. I was in Kerala. Beautiful place. If you didn't visit it, I advise that you visit it. When I was in the coast, I saw many of the people who used to do these boats for the Gulf trade, and we reminisce with them about the different boats that they and their grandfather made for the Gulf trade and for people in UAE and other parts of the Gulf. And they noticed that now their country and their state is becoming hotter than before. And this is reflected also in agriculture. It is reflected also in the rapidity of cyclones and other things that are also affecting fishing and affecting all kind of economic situation of many of those people, and many of them are living in a bad economical condition. Now, this is a great challenge for the world have been also portrayed in the dystopian literature. And it went to movies after that, like you remember the movie The Day After and many of those books and movies. And you expect that the leadership of the countries that can make a difference. We are a small country, we tried our best, but what we can do, I mean, only the giants, the big countries can make a difference in this respect. The ex-president of the greatest or the biggest country in the world just recently said, this ex-president said that the increase in the ocean levels in the United States is 1/8 of an inch every 300 years. This is what he said. And he may come again as a president after a few months. The scientific organization that measure the rising levels of the oceans around the United States figures that said the rising level is 1/3 of an inch every year. So the ex-president is thinking that it is 1/8 of an inch every 300 years, and the reality is that it is 1/8 of an inch every year. I mean, that person can easily, after a few months, be the president of the biggest countries in the world, who decide all the policies of climate, of all the economic policies of this climate, political, everything. This is one example. I remember when I was studying in the States in the 70s, most people were afraid during that Cold War of a nuclear holocaust. That was the nightmare of people who are thinking. After the fall of the Berlin Wall, people thought, khalas, now peace will be all over the world, and people will devote their energies, their money, their efforts to develop medicine, education, city planning, whatever. And we looked at those documentaries by National Geographic or by BBC about World War I and World War II as passé, as a history, and we sip our tea and we look at those movies in our large TV screens. Before 3 years now, a very bloody war began in Europe, and this war is continuing. Thousands of lives have been killed, and there is no solution in the near future. Many thinkers, they were very optimistic. They thought, khalas, war is something of the past. Now, this war is happening in the most advanced place in the world, Europe. If it was in, third world countries, maybe those people are not politically aware, they are not educated, whatever. These are the most educated nations in the world, and they are involved in one of those World War II or World War I wars, where the question is about national pride, about who have the power, about macho mentality, about things that we thought are passé, things that people benefited from these lessons of the past, that they will not repeat this kind of gross mistakes. But it is there, and we don't know what will happen. I mean, they are all giving us every day scenarios of doom and gloom. I don't know. I think those leaders, they don't read literature. They don't read fictions. They don't read our novels of utopia or dystopia or ecotopia or things. I don't know. They don't like literature, or if they read these novels, do they understand the warnings in these novels? Especially many of those people who wrote these novels, they were not lay people like me. They were scientific people. I mean, Isaac Asimov and Arthur C. Clarke, they are greats of these type of novels. They were scientists. They were educated, they were trained as scientists, and great scientists also. So those people, they don't read these novels. They don't read the warnings, the writings on the wall. And they continue in all of these things that I talked about, whether it is pandemics, whether it is AI, whether it is climate change, whether it is the new modern wars. And I can list a series of those things that most of you, as well-educated people, know them. And you think, if those people who decide our fate, they don't read and they don't understand the lessons of what humble writers wrote about, what will be our future? We as writers, we cannot do anything. We can write only novels and fictions and stories and plays and these kind of things. But the people who can decide, for example, how much money you will put in medical research, in improving public health, in investing in studies of viruses and mutation of viruses, on study of vaccines. Those people who can also invest in AI, those people who can affect the policies of climate change, those people who can stop these useless wars that are killing people every day, torturing people, pushing people to be exiles from their lands and from their countries. Sometimes I think, those people, we are putting our fate in the hands of people who don't read literature, who don't listen to warnings. I hope I am not pessimistic. I am always an optimist by nature. And I always thought that science will free us from many of our past problems. When I was reading the novels of Isaac Asimov and Arthur C. Clarke, when I was studying in the States in the 70s, I dreamt also that people will develop, they will go to other planets, they will overcome disease, they will have utopian cities. But unfortunately, what I see now, now I am in the, as they say, the last leg of my life, that we are not heading to the brave new world that Aldous Huxley talked about, or about bright future that other writers wrote about. I hope I am mistaken. I hope that humanity, either the leaders or the thinkers or the people or the politicians, will try to do something to fix these things. I hope they read more literature, more utopias, more dystopias, more ecotopias, more of these novels. Can they do that? I don't know. Thank you.